And it's that time once again. Eringo Blog. Hi there. Welcome everybody to Cast Iron Wednesday. And this, of course, is a long-running tradition that a number of YouTube foodie channels have been doing on Wednesday for, well, quite the past several years now. We do a cast iron video on Wednesday because it's a lot of fun and because, well, again, we enjoy cooking in cast iron. Because if you know my channel at all, then I would think you would know that I have some reasons as to why cooking in cast iron is so much fun. Especially since, we are getting close once again to St. Patrick's Day this weekend, which is, of course, one of the best cooking days of the year. And that is when we are all not all of us, but a lot of folks like to do their traditional corned beef and cabbage, of course. And I do have to say, we're not doing that tonight, partly because, well, it's not St. Patrick's Day yet. It also takes a long time to make, more than the hour or hour and a half that we usually get in this video. But on the other hand, I do intend on playing around with some corned beef tonight. So thank you once again, though, to everybody who's been kind enough to show up here tonight. There are a number of people who show up here every week, and I very much appreciate that, as well as anybody new who might be kind enough to show up here tonight. So hello again to everybody. Hello to Beth Button and R. Hughes and Cast Iron IRL with Honey J. Badger and Pip Gorn and Rich Qualls, Jimmy Langford, Rick Stumbaugh, and Corey Clark, and so many others. And hello, Becca, and hello, Rums. Nice to see you here, and welcome to this channel here. Welcome to my kitchen, where I am indeed. Thank you very much, R. Hughes, too, and thank you for my kitchen. Thank you for coming to my kitchen. That is because I am here indeed with some cast iron, and we're going to be having a fair amount of cast iron tonight. We're starting off, however, with a large enameled cast iron pot, because that is what I have been using to slow cook some corned beef this afternoon. So let's get started and take a look at this, because, of course, that's what folks want to see. Let me move this around a little bit. And this is still hot because during lunch this afternoon at about excuse me, just almost dropped the mouse. At about 1:30 or so this afternoon, I started cooking this enameled cast iron pot here at 225 degrees, and in this pot I had corned beef. Yes, indeed, about a 3 pound or so slab of corned beef that I just simply made, without any effort at all. All I really did was I coated this corned beef with salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and as well as I tossed in the little the little seasoning packet that comes with this corned beef. Yes, this is a store-bought corned beef. This is not the homemade corned beef that is still brining in my fridge at this point. But nonetheless, this has indeed been slow cooking for the last several hours. And okay, I better be careful because apparently I almost closed this out. Okay, good. All right. Okay, and I eat sauerkraut like salad. You're not the only one. And hello as well to Cast Iron Fanatic. But yes, so let's get started here, because this is only one of the things I'm going to be doing. Actually, I can cover this up for the moment. Well, no, maybe not. I should probably take it out of this liquid here just to let it dry off a little bit, because we're not going to be cooking. We're not going to be using this yet. Rather, I've got one other dish that I need to start preparing before we get down to the corned beef. Come on, let's do this right. There we go. All right. So we're off to a good start anyway. But yeah, I am certainly looking forward to chowing down on this corned beef as well. Let me right now just put the lid back on this enamel Dutch oven and get it out of the way, and then we will start with the other part. Get this back in the oven because, well, it's as good a place to keep it as any for now. Anyway, yeah, well, hello as well to Jim F. I'm going to be making a basic corned beef in a couple of days, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. So whether you put it on Polish, oh, you're talking about sauerkraut. Okay, but yeah, here is indeed our corned beef that's been slow cooking for the last couple of hours. But I'm going to let this sit and dry out a little bit while we move on to the other dish that we're going to be making tonight, and that will be colcannon. And for that, I'm going to be using some. Okay, from here, I'm going to be using some potatoes, some cabbage, of course, and also I'm going to be throwing in some sausages. So we actually have some sausages to cook. So for that, I think we will do two things. Let's head back over to the stove right at the moment where we get to see some cast iron here. This is what we're going to be looking at tonight. Here is, first of all, here is the, once again, the Magnalite aluminum Dutch oven. Which which I'm going to be using right about now. And as for the sausages, we've got ourselves we've got the pan that I call Lightning, which is the Birmingham Stove and Range handwritten #7 skillet. And in fact, I should probably start heating this thing up right now. There we go. Whereas meanwhile, unfortunately, I realized I made one mistake before, in that I missed one particular piece of prep work. And why am I having so much trouble moving this thing around here? Oh, there it is. And the mistake I made, unfortunately, was I forgot to wash off these potatoes. So let me do this as quickly as I can. And then we will get on with it. Of course, it's nice and simple. I mean, in fact, I'm not even going to use a brush. All I have to do is just simply use my hands as quickly as I can. So appreciate your patience while I get down to this as quickly as I said. Fast, because I don't want to waste your time. I mean, all I'm really doing, quite frankly, as I said, is just pretty much wiping or scrubbing the grit off of the skins of these potatoes because I'm not going to peel these potatoes. I love my potatoes with the skins on, and so that's why I make a point of just all you need to do is just simply scrub them off. And one more, and we will be done. There we go. And besides, we're going to be boiling these potatoes anyway. So that's why there's no problem that these things are going to be clean. I can pretty much guarantee you that. Okay, and R. Hughes, I've never had canned corned beef, but lots from the store. Oh, yeah. Canned corned beef is actually pretty good in its own. I will say that. We found a lidless Magnalite pot past weekend to match an orphan lid we bought 4 years ago. Well, congratulations, then. Sounds like you made a score there. I make my own kraut. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I recognize that name there, Leonard. Nice to see you here tonight. And I make colcannon in a lamb mold. Well, no, I have to say I'm probably not going to be doing that. Russet potatoes, yes, indeed, russet potatoes, because these are the best potatoes to mash. And all we have to do is quickly carve these things up into pieces. And this is really the hard part as far as putting all this together. Well, that and mashing it at the end. This, that, and the other thing. There we go. That sure was hard, wasn't it? Okay, now that we've done that, let us pull out the Magnolite aluminum Dutch oven here. For the record, let's take a look at the bottom here, which unfortunately has picked up a few stains. God, I just realized it's been at least a couple of years since I've polished this, and I will probably have to do that soon enough. Nonetheless, this is a 1960s to 1980s Magnolite pot, because during that time they actually made the Magnolite series to look like the older series, when in fact as I said, it's more like from the 1960s, not the 1930s or so. Anyway, let's throw in our potatoes, shall we? Boy, that sure was hard. And then from here, looks like one other thing I forgot. Let me quickly grab the salt. And here is where things get a little bit different. There we go. Takes care of the salt. In addition to this, we've got a few other things that we're going to be throwing onto these potatoes. And that would be cabbage. I've maybe a little less than half a head of cabbage that I've already cut up. And in addition to that, here it is. I also quickly chopped up a couple of onions. Finally, the part that I like to add to colcannon, even though some people have yelled at me, not here, but some people, because this is not traditional, and that would be spinach. I understand that a lot of people regularly use kale instead of spinach, but I like spinach. So, get all that in. Come on. Hard part is getting this silly thing out of the bag here. All right. Oh, yeah. Getting it all over the place, aren't I? As I said, fortunately, we're going to be steaming all of this anyway. So, yes, all of this is, in fact, going to shrink down as it cooks. That's why I'm not worried that this whole thing here seems to be overflowing. So, now that we've done that, all right, I guess I'll just do it the cheap way rather than getting a water jug. Do this right. Come on. There we go. Try and get as close to the sink as possible. There we go. All right. And in we go. Oh, yes. Heaven forbid. I'm using tap water. I'm not using pure organic bottled spring water. Well, tough. Fortunately, at least the tap water in my area is safe enough to drink, and I should know because I've been doing that, and I haven't died yet. Anyway, I think maybe just a little bit more. There we go. That's probably about right. So, put the lid on. Something going on? One moment. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry, folks. Just one quick second. Okay. Come on. There we go. Sorry for the delay. I just heard something in the background. But anyway, yes. My foreman at work says, Honey Badger, my foreman at work used to work as a polisher on the Magnolite line in Sydney, Ohio. He gets tired of me asking Wagner questions all the time. Well, at least you've got somebody who knows what he's talking about. So I don't blame you at all for asking those questions. Okay, let's get this over here. Tuck in these little bits here. Shove it underneath, shall we say? Come on. Oh, come on. Good grief. All right. There we go. Light that up. And with that, we are just simply going to let this come to a boil and boil for probably about another 30 minutes, meaning that this should all be done within probably like a little less than an hour. You know, the time when we usually wrap up this live here. Okay, where's Fats? Well, right now, in fact, she is out chasing Miss Mobley, the cat. Actually, she stepped out just before I went live, so she's probably just right around outside. Hello, Dave Evely or Evely as well. I made it tonight. I usually find the cast on Thursday morning. Well, congratulations and thank you for showing up here. And this hello as well to Louis J and Terry Sinchef and Val's Black Cats rules. Jim F. Cynthia, polishing my Magnolite and old Wagyu aluminum roasters are on my list too. Yes, exactly. So, okay, but nonetheless, as I mentioned, colcannon, I mean, even though I threw all of those vegetables into this pot and I'm going to be boiling them, there's also going to be a lot of meat mixing in. And that's where we get to play with the other cast iron. So before I start making some Reubens, we are going to cook up some sausages nice and quickly. At least I hope quickly. So what am I doing? I need I need just a little bit of oil here. And I apologize. I don't know why I seem so spaced out this evening. And I hope it doesn't look like I'm just roaming around all over the place. Nonetheless, let's throw just a little bit of oil in this pan. We don't need very much because this is these sausages are going to render out some fat anyway. But at least that means I can get a leather skillet handle cover. So far, so good. And now, finally, having wasted all this time, let us, come on, there we go. Let us cook some sausages. 1, 2, 3, and probably 4. That should be enough. Especially since these are larger sausages. Johnsonville, they call it Irish garlic. Gee, almost as if they're trying to appeal to St. Patrick's Day or something. Funny thing is that this may be the first time I've seen a 19-ounce package of sausages rather than a standard 16-ounce package. So yeah, these are larger sausages, and actually I like that. All right, spread this around a little bit. And while we are waiting for these sausages to cook, hello, Handsome Stone. I love going to antique places that have cast iron to sell and it moves, or priced so high it sits for years. Yeah, it's either one or the other, it seems like, isn't it? There never seems to be an in-between, but which is why, of course, we call it the hunt, because you never know how it's all going to turn out. All right, so there's a starter for you. Boy, these things are starting to puff up already, so that's a good sign. There we go. Come on. 2. Oh, yeah. I better turn the heat down. It looks like the heat, this might be up a little too high, and I don't want to burn these things. And yes, I know, this is the part where people will usually say, throw in some beer and soak these sausages that way. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea, although my beer is upstairs, I will say that. I bet that pan is a spinner. You know, as a matter of fact, it's not. I'm actually amazed at the fact that old lightning here is not a spinner. So so I'm definitely very glad to own this particular pan. I mean, a number of BSR&R pans have indeed been warped over the years, yet this one is not actually one of them. So, I mean, just nice and flat here on the burner. And once it cools off, whenever that is, I'll have to spin it on my, I'll have to move it around on my, on a flat surface to demonstrate that it's not, like I said, that it's not a spinner. All right, so far so good. All right, I think we'll, again, don't have the opportunity to get some beer. Maybe I should find a lid. That's the other thing I only thought of at this moment. Wondering if I have a lid that will fit this can here so that I could actually steam these sausages. Let me very quickly check my lids and see what we can come up with. If you don't mind, I mean, I'm sure you don't mind watching some sausages cooking for a minute or so. You see what I have for lids here. I've got this one. Now that might actually fit. I know this BSNR 8 number lid will not fit because that is a number 7 pan. And somewhere around here's another one. All right. Yeah, so I'm curious as well as to what lid will fit on this number 7 Red Mountain BSNR. So here is a number 8 Lodge pan, which seems to be big, a little bigger than I expected, in fact. Okay, so I mean, while it would be sufficient, I'm wondering if I have another one that's a better fit. So here's one, the New Idea pan from Chicago Hardware Foundry. I'm wondering if this would fit on it. And the answer is still no. It's still kind of big, unfortunately. But you know what? I think this might actually be a better fit than the Lodge one. So that's not a bad sign. In that case, quickly looking around. Wait a second. Do I have one here in the fridge? And looking here, as a matter of fact, what's this? Well, here's something. Even though it's not Irish, it looks like here's a Heineken that somebody had been sipping. So let's undo this. This is not hot yet. Got to be careful because it's going to splatter. There we go. All right. So that's off to a decent start there, and that should prevent these sausages from burning at all. So that's good. Give it to Chef Mike. I just bought a Griswold skillet to go with my aluminum Griswold lid. Well, do you mean an aluminum skillet or a cast iron skillet? Either one. I mean, getting a Griswold these days is a score in itself. So, is that cool lid? Is that a beehive? Okay, no, it is not exactly a beehive. This, in fact, is an unusual lid that goes to an unusual pan as well. Um, that folks know as it was actually under a brand called New Idea, NUYDEA, New Idea. If you look it up, you will actually see photos of it. And this is actually quite a rare item in that the combination of the skillet and lid, or even a Dutch oven in this lid, has been going on eBay for anywhere from $300 and higher. And I was actually shocked and surprised when I actually came across this lid at an antique mall for $35, and only because I knew what it was, I figured it would be worth it to get the lid, just on the off chance that maybe someday I might actually come across the come across the skillet to go with it. You never know. I'm not going to pay $300 for it. Nonetheless, yeah, this has a really nice design to it, doesn't it? When I actually first saw this on the internet, the first thought that struck me is that this actually looks Art Deco in design. 1920s Art Deco with the angled design that they had in those days. And at that time, people thought that this, in fact, came from the 1800s, the 19th century. I'm now that we know a little more, I don't know how people got this idea, but initially they thought that these new idea pans were made in England in the late 1800s. And if that's the case, then they would have been decades ahead of their time because this has a wonderfully polished underside. Here, let me show you right now. In fact, so there's definitely no gate mark or anything on this. Maybe I should flip these around right now. And actually, now that I've steamed them for a little bit, maybe it's done. Maybe I should actually take the lid off and let this thing just simmer away in the beer here until some of the liquid evaporates. So in that case, yeah, this is the underside of the new idea lid, which, as you can see, again has a nice spider web design to it, and amazingly smooth, and definitely no gate mark or anything underneath it. So even though, yeah, so people thought this was made in the 1800s. Like I said, seemed to have been decades ahead of its time. Only within the past few years, though, people have found evidence in the form of advertisements from Chicago Hardware Foundry. Actually, it might not even be Chicago Hardware Foundry. They thought it was Chicago Hardware Foundry, but this was definitely made in Chicago in the early 20th century, likely around the Art Deco period. So we're talking like the 1920s to the 1930s. And apparently it was thought that this was done by Chicago Hardware Foundry, but apparently the latest word I've heard in the cast iron community is that there was another independent foundry in the Chicago area that actually made these new idea pans. And am I hearing something outside? Excuse me 1 second. I'm sorry, let me check one thing, please. Mobley. My cat Mobley is outside right now. I'm looking to see if she wants to come in. Anyway, so that is the new idea lid, which I'm quite happy to own. Although, as I said, maybe one of these days I'll get lucky and actually find the skillet to go with it. All right, I can't make it that cheap. Some store-bought ghee. Oh, I can see you're talking about cooking here. It looks like a World War II anti-tank mine. Well, fortunately, it's not. I can definitely say this was made for cooking. Anyway, let's give these things a flip, shall we? If nothing else, at least I gave these things an initial browning, that's for sure. And yeah, definitely, I think the liquid was the right way to go because this way they will not, they won't burn, whereas they should still remain moist. Okay, so far so good. Anyway, once these are done, we will then get along with the next part of our little cooking project tonight. And the next part is should be pretty easy. Although for that, I just realized I should probably at this point turn to our next piece of cast iron, which is the Birmingham Stove and Range oval. Now the shallow fish fryer, the Red Mountain series fish fryer, and I should start heating this up now so that we will be able to make ourselves some sandwiches, some hot sandwiches in just a little bit. But this thing is simmering nicely here. I only have the burner up on halfway at this point. So really, as far as colcannon is concerned, I mean, again, all I have to do is wait until these, make sure these things are, these sausages are completely cooked. And then it's only a matter of waiting until all of the vegetables and the like are completely cooked and steamed. So yeah, this is not going to be difficult. I've only seen snouts, stomachs, feet, and tongue out here. Oh, you must be talking about pork, I guess. let the cat in. The food can wait. Mobley has her little door, then she can come in and out all she likes. She is not locked outside. I will reassure you of that. Um, okay, although I have seen canned collard greens out here. Yeah, I if it's anything like canned spinach, I'm not interested. The last ghee I bought smelled like a barnyard. Well, I'm sorry about that. I had them in science class with scrambled eggs. They was actually good. My food rules are no innards, no critters. Ah, well, everybody has their own tastes, Celine 77. So I can only say that last night I made some dirty rice. And unfortunately, I did not use chicken gizzards because I did not have them. Nonetheless, it still came out as a nice dish anyway. So, Cynthia Wesley, you spent too much time down on the farm. Well, perhaps there are some advantages to living on the farm too. All right, just got to make sure again that these. What I should do, in fact, is break up the thermometer so that I can see if these sausages are cooking on the inside, as I certainly hope they are. Because, yeah, sausages have to be well done, of course. So let's pull this out and see what we get. So far, oh, nice. This thing is up to 132 degrees. So we are indeed making some progress here. This one shows 147. As far as, oh, and this one even is 157. Maybe I better move this around, move these around here. There we go. As when I do sausages, yes, as you can see, I cook them to temperature, and I like to take my sausages up to about 175 or so to ensure that they are indeed thoroughly cooked. All right, have you ever had lamb's head or goat's head? Well, I can't say that I have, and yet it's another thing I'm gonna have to try one of these days, I guess. All right. So far, oops, I should turn this up. In fact, there we go. No, that's not the one. It's this one. Okay, just making sure my heat is up correctly. Boy, I noticed when I turn up the heat on this gas stove, this thing immediately starts bubbling much faster. Wow. I've been cooking with gas for a year and a half and I'm still not used to it. Hmm. Fried chicken livers. Uh, Chicken livers by themselves, I can't say I'm willing to go for. I like gizzards, including the lizards, including the livers mixed in, but I'm not just gonna go completely for livers. On the other hand, I like chicken hearts. They are chewy, yes, but they do have a nice flavor to them. So liver and onions is wonderful if done right. Liver and onions. Whenever somebody cooks liver and onions on Facebook's Cast Iron Cooking Group, there this huge argument always breaks out because someone always starts with the ugh and the yuck and all that, and they don't like that there on that group. But it happens every time nonetheless. All right, just rotating these things. Cast iron makes everything better. Beer makes everything better. Well, arguably. Okay, so far so good. Roasted pig's head is awesome, and the cheek meat is great. Oh yeah, I have boiled pig's head and made head cheese, and based on the spices that I use, I think it turned out fantastic. After spending a lot of time in a bar, pig's feet never touched my lips. You want to try rat so surely livers won't hurt you? Oh, I see. You want to try rat? Yes, I have said that. So surely livers won't hurt you, and food and hood and good for your blood. Oh yeah, no, I have had livers. I'm not saying I've never tried them. I just find that the taste by itself is, kind of strong. And no, I really can't say that I was all excited by it. So I don't mind chicken gizzards with the livers mixed in. but I am not that crazy about the taste of liver on its own. Gizzards have been mine whenever we had chicken since I was about 4. Smoked pig cheek is amazing. And put a couple trotters in your spaghetti sauce sometime. So much flavor. Oh, I don't doubt that. Yeah, that definitely shows Italian heritage. If you make your pasta sauce with a lot of pork, then you definitely have some Italian in you. I mean, I've seen all of these videos on YouTube for pasta sauce that always uses ground beef. And considering I grew up in an Italian family, it took me a while to get used to the idea of pasta sauce without pork, whether it's sausages or just or just pork, such as pork shoulder. It does have a bitter taste if you don't know how to cook it. Well, there is that. All right, so far so good, and I do appreciate as well. Folks are really, having a lot of discussion about cooking, and that which is great because yeah, again, that's the whole idea for this channel. But I mean, you can of course feel free as well to, talk about cast iron too. Meat and bones are my second love to cast iron. Okay, love to cast iron. Beer, pig's feet, and pickled eggs are a must. Have you ever had snapping turtle? Tastes like 6 different meats. I have not. That is another one on my long list of things that I need to try. I have tried alligator, and to be honest, maybe it just wasn't cooked right because I found it to be kind of rubbery, unfortunately. But I have not yet tried snapping turtle. So who knows? Maybe on my next trip down south, I might have the opportunity to give it a try. I do believe this beer is indeed evaporating from the way these bubbles are showing up, which I think is a good thing. Let's test this once again. Oh yeah, here we go. 179, 180, and over here it says 158. Did I do this right? 148, 149. Okay, I must not have punctured it. Well, no, for some reason. Okay, the end is showing 170, but not the inside yet. So I guess I'll just have to keep rotating it. I forget if I said this part. I used a thermopen probe thermometer, and I went through 3 of them just in the course of the past year. With all 3 of this is not a thermo pro. That's it. This is not a thermo, but with the thermo, in all 3 instances, the actual probe here just plain pulled out and left the wires exposed, and the wires end up breaking, even though I tried shoving the probe back in. Happened 3 times in a row. So finally, I decided I was going to go onto Amazon and get a recommended probe thermometer. So far, it's held up pretty well. All right. We both read the same article. In the background, listening in the background, Louis J. Listening in the background while I build my cast iron rack. Well, that sounds interesting in itself. So, hey, Big Lou, good too. Hello, rolling, smoke, barbecue, and cooking. What's up, everybody? Well, we are doing pretty good right now. We are right at this moment just cooking some sausages, which we are going to mix into some Irish style colcannon. I'll say Irish style because, these are Italian sausages. They're not British bangers. And likewise, the colcannon is using spinach rather than kale. But nonetheless, I'd still consider it to be colcannon. And once these are done, we are then going to go into the second part of this little cooking escapade tonight. Terry Sinchev, I've had turtle. It was good, but I will never clean one again. The meat doesn't stop moving for 24 hours. Oof. Oh, wow. That sounds interesting. Who the hell eats sea turtle? They're like endangered. Well, no, we're not talking about sea turtle, I don't think. I think we're talking about snapping turtle. Potatoes, sausages, and carrots. How can you go wrong? Yes, exactly. Tastes like bald eagle. Well, I can see somebody is telling a little joke there because we know bald eagles are also endangered. All right, and while we're doing this, the sportsman fish fryer here is heating up nicely. So that means once we're all done here, we'll be able to go to our second part. And I'm definitely looking forward to that, especially since my companion tonight has never had a Reuben sandwich. I was a little surprised to hear that, especially since she's a New York City girl. Nonetheless, that is the case. All right. Bald eagles are all over the place in Northern California and not endangered. And not endangered? I was of the impression that they were, in fact, on the endangered species list. I might actually have to go look that up at some point just to verify that. Corey Clark, I'm in a tornado watch. Oh, well, do be careful, Corey. I'm waiting on 2 scoops of those grits, Big Blue. Oh, they were, but not anymore. Well, really, I definitely want to look it up then, because if that's the case, then that's good news. Although I suspect they probably still have restrictions or the like on hunting bald eagles, partly for political reasons. At least that would be my guess. All right, let's see how this is going now. This point. This one here still says 158, so we're still not quite done yet. This one here says 165, 167, so we are getting close. This one says 172, 169, and over here we also have 157, 160. Okay, so one of these is definitely done, but that's okay. The others will move over here. And with any luck, this should be finished in just a few minutes or so. I saw a flock of about 150 tundra swans go over today. I understand some people hunt them. Oops, looks like the fans come on automatically on the stovetop. Well, I'm taking that as a good sign. All right. At this point, while we're waiting, I think, if nothing else, we can try something different. And let's head back to our table over here, shall we? One more time. Speaking of tornadoes, there you go. You just had a little bit of a twister. Okay, here is my board again with that new idea cast iron lid, which has a little bit of, I guess you could call it perspiration on it. So I'm going to have to clean this up later tonight. But until then, I will move this to a safe place. And now that it has rested for a while, let's bring out some corned beef, shall we? Let me see. Here's one thing I've never been good at, and that's judging which way is against the grain. So I guess we're going to have to find out the hard way. Let me see. From the looks of it, it looks like the grain is going this way, which means I'm going to have to cut it this way. All right, there we are. And that also means I need to dig out a serving fork. Here we go. Actually, it's not a serving fork. This is because I'm going to be cooking this further to make reubens. And I think I did not call it. I think this is the grain. Okay, then let's turn it around to this way. There we go. That's better. All right. Nice, though. I got to say, this is some nice looking corned beef here. And this thing is definitely If I'm not careful, this is all going to fall apart. So we are not doing too badly at all. Maybe one more slice, and that should be enough for our reubens. All right. And while I'm doing that, I better keep an eye on those sausages as well. Yeah, the beer is definitely evaporating, so I think we're getting close to it at this point. Hello, are you back? I heard something. Where is the beef? And yeah, tornadoes, no joke. Yes, exactly. I live out in Amish country here in Ohio. Mostly I see 500 geese or more a week. Take a picture of them slices. Yeah, they are nice slices, aren't they? I will say that. Okay, but but there's really not much more prep work we need to do for the reubens other than actually putting the sandwiches together. So let's head back here one more time because I could definitely say the beer is pretty much evaporated. So let's turn these over. And I'm pretty sure, come on, how hard is it to turn this thing over? There we go. And I have little doubt, boy, that's some nice color on these things too. Check the temperature one last time. Boy, is this still saying only 154? Oh, over here it says 161. Over here it says, this one though says 179, 177. This one says 187, 180. Okay, let's double check this one here. Now this one, okay. Move this over here. And finally, we've got one more, which is also showing 175. Okay, so these ones are definitely done. This one may take just about another minute or so. Oh yeah, but yeah, the liquid has definitely evaporated, so I just gotta be careful that these things don't burn. On the other hand, they are picking up some very nice color. I don't know if you could call these beer braised sausages, but they are definitely beer cooked sausages. All right. So far, so good. I think I could safely turn off the heat on this pan on the front, whereas we are still boiling the colcannon. And while we're doing that, now that the sausages are done, I think we can actually move on to the next stage. So that means, okay, we got this, that, and the other thing. All right. Means I've got to do one last thing. I just realized at this point I've got to drain that sauerkraut because it seems like fool that I am, got a nice big package of shredded kraut, and I forgot to drain it. So that means I had better do that nice and fast. We'll have this bowl here. And let's, okay, get out the strainer. Hey, this strainer is enormously useful. I use it with my rice and a whole lot of other things, including sauerkraut. However, I'm going to have to, okay, slice it open. Come on. Careful. Don't want this to fall all over the place. There we go. I also don't want to cut myself. Plop. Ah, yes, the distinct vinegary scent of sauerkraut. Considering I'm a vinegar-holic, I have no problem at all with that. There is our kraut. All right. All right. Okay, once this is discarded, I suppose I should just leave it here right now. Okay, now I think we're finally ready for the last stage. And that would be to look once again at the Birmingham Stove and Range Sportsman Fish Fryer, which dates likely to the, well, definitely to the Red Mountain era. So this could be anywhere from the 1930s all the way perhaps to the 1960s. It does actually have the Sportsman logo on the bottom, so I'm fairly confident that it is not the earliest generation of the Sportsman fish fryer, but it is also definitely good enough. Okay, that means let's get started as best as we can. And the nice thing about this is pretty much everything is already cooked. So all we really have to do is get these sandwiches good and hot. And that means, all right, let's start with this. A little bit of oil, just a little bit. And as they say, away we go. And the nice part is this is not going to take long at all. All right, how are we going to do this now? Keep forgetting all of these little details here. Rye bread, because you gotta have rye bread with Reubens. Trying to toast this bread at the same time. I like Reuben sandwiches. Reubens, not so much. I put all my pets in the basement. Oh, that's good. Oh, I put my old faithful stove back in today. Oh, I'm glad to hear things are going well, and here's hoping you don't have any problems in this tornado watch. Do this right. Especially since this corned beef is going to come apart if I'm not careful. There we go. So far, so good. Now, time for one other thing. Yeah, this is not going to work, is it? Over here. There's the kraut. I'm doing this right. Okay, so far so good. Tell me I'm doing this right. Oh, hi, you're back in. That's good because we are preparing the sandwiches. Or at least trying to. Doing my best not to make a mess out of everything. So far, so good. Actually, what I should have done is move this over into the center. This is the hot part right here. Definitely hot. Yeah, hot all right. There we go. That's a little better. Oh yeah. I think I'd better get this out as quickly as I can. Oh, I know what to do. I'm doing a terrible job, I know, but let's move this over to here. And this over to here. All right, there we go. Well, this side of the sandwich at least is looking nice. Come on. Oops. Oh yeah, definitely a better finish up with this toasting here. All right. That's what we'll do. We'll do this. Okay, and we'll do this. And then finally, onto that, provolone cheese. Damn it. Always forget something. I forgot to open up the cheese. Come on. Come on. What the hell am I doing wrong here? Excuse me. Ugh. There we go. Ruining this cheese package because. All right, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Come on already. Damn it. Thin sliced provolone, they said. Ugh. You're in there. Okay, now do this best as I can. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. And I had better. How are we gonna do this? Nuts. Excuse me. Oh, son of a. No. I just dropped that sandwich on the floor. Damn it. All right. Because I forgot a plate. Nuts. Oh well. Better salvage this one while I can. Okay, here's one at least. Ugh. All right, okay, we're gonna have to make more because brilliant fool that I am, I ended up, as you can see, spilling it on the floor. Now let me, not now, that's fine. All right, let's get this on here anyway. Nonetheless, ugh. Boy, was that a terrible job or what? Okay. Anyway, we are off to this much of a start. We're almost done here. finish toasting these as best as I can. Yes, I know. That was terrible, wasn't it? As you can see, I am not a short order cook. I've only done the best I can. So here's a question: how good are you at doing a sandwich? I'm asking Fats over here. Hello? How good are you at doing a sandwich? Okay, would you like to give it a try? Because I think you might actually be better at this than I am. But even so, we've got one sandwich here.
There's a bread.
Yeah, no, well, bread's on one side. Hold on, rather than doing this here, let me just show you over here. Yeah, the bread is here on the bottom, and we've got some provolone cheese and the corned beef, and there's some sauerkraut on top. What we do now is we add some Thousand Island dressing to it. Yeah, it has to be Thousand Island dressing, otherwise it's not a Reuben. But I don't need to drown it, that's for sure. Maybe just a little bit. And we top it. So even though I ended up dropping one on the floor, we have at least one Reuben sandwich. And with that, you should definitely give it a try. Don't worry, I won't turn the camera on you as you try it. And while
this for me or you?
Yeah. All right. And well, there you go. I should say as well, folks, my friend here, she has never had a Reuben sandwich. She's a New York City girl, and she has never had a Reuben sandwich, I'm afraid. So, but that's just how, yeah, that's just how it is. You know, I'm not making fun of her for that. I'm just mentioning that. So this is her first time trying a Reuben sandwich, and as always, I ask her to be honest with her comments. And while we're doing that, I'm sorry? If you want, I mean, if you, okay. I think she's I think she's a little shy, so I will. Okay. Oh, yeah, if you want to give your opinion to the camera.
Okay. This is my first time trying it.
Okay. Yeah, how about this? Let's move. We don't have to see your face, but let's see.
Face, no face.
No face.
This is my first time trying it.
You're sounding a little iffy about it.
I mean, I would eat it. I would never buy it from the store.
Okay. All right. Of course, it might have to do with the way I made it, but. So I guess the flavor combination is, well, since it's new to you, I guess you feel that it might be something that may take some getting used to.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. All right. I'll be completely honest about that. Nonetheless, I appreciate you trying it, though. Okay. Well, I've been waiting on all of that. Let's do this one more time. Let me get one more sandwich in, I think, and then we'll finish the colcannon finally. You don't have to finish it. Okay. If nothing else, though, see what you think about the corned beef by itself, though, if you'd like. Try a little bit of the corned beef, which is coming apart on its own.
I mean, it's tender.
Mm-hmm. Well, she likes the corned beef anyway. She says it's probably the sauerkraut that threw her off. So I guess she's not used to the sauerkraut. And I'm certainly not going to criticize her for that. Everybody has their own tastes. There's no denying that. All right, but I'm going to make another attempt, one more sandwich. Hopefully it'll go a little bit better than the one I dropped on the floor. All right. And let's go once again. There we go. Now, how about this? I'm frying up this corned beef here. I'll make one more sandwich for myself, and for you, I will just give you the fried corned beef. Oh, okay. I'll put that together then. All right. So anyway, crowd is definitely an acquired taste, says Mr. Majors. No white stuff whatsoever. The difference is Russian dressing has horseradish. Okay. She's now a New York City girl. I don't think she could say she was without having one. Hope she has $1,000 dressing to dip it in. And also thank you as well, folks, for I have not had a good Reuben sandwich in a long time. Well, I'm not entirely convinced that what I made here is a good Reuben sandwich, but I hope it's at least a decent one. There we go. Oh, this one at the end, that's even better. All right, let's get this out of the way. Okay, here we go again. See if I can do this right. Toast the bread once again. Try not to mess it up this time, shall we? A little bit of this corned beef myself. All right. My mistake was trying to rush around and do everything at once. So as a result, I ended up dropping one of them on the floor. My bad. I'm going to have to press this down a little bit to toast it. Nothing yet. The heat is definitely on. Okay, but I should probably stop fiddling around with it. That's part of the problem. I mean, you can see the smoke rising. Nonetheless. All right. Is the heat on? I'm not getting any toasting whatsoever on this. Good grief. Come on. Oh, there we go. I wonder where that came from. Whereas the other one hasn't done anything. Let's do a little bit of this in the center. Oh, I feel embarrassed by that little performance. The center is definitely hot. There's no denying that. So far, so good. I hope. Okay. Oh yeah, now we're getting somewhere. So it seems like we've only got a hot spot on this side. Okay, well in that case, so far so good. Once this is properly toasted, we will then build another sandwich, and I'll try to be a little less clumsy. Okay. Let's do this right, shall we? Here, a little bit there. A little bit more of the provolone cheese. All right, this time I think we have it. So that there is no mistake, let me take this extra piece of corned beef out of the pan so that it doesn't burn. All right, here, try this piece. It is just the corned beef. Very hot though, I think you definitely want a fork. All right. On the other hand, getting close to the time to take this next sandwich out. I think we will finally be ready for the last part of our little performance tonight. There's this. And there's that. All right. It's off. So anyway, here is Reuben sandwich number 2. And as is usually the case, I think the second one came out a little bit more successful than the first. So, once again, let's throw just a tad of Thousand Island dressing on it. And voila. Here's our second Reuben sandwich. All right. You said you wanted the second one from Marcia?
Yes.
Okay. Well, here we are, for whatever it's worth. Okay. Anyway, my stew is malt vinegar. Oh, slaw is malt vinegar mayo. Boy, you're talking a lot about kraut. I appreciate that, I think. Wondering what kind of cheese that was. That was provolone cheese, in fact. I know you should use Swiss, but I do have a preference for provolone cheese. Ving Rames of Arby's actually says we have them eats for legal purposes. Yeah. Right. I grew up eating hot dogs cooked in canned sauerkraut. Still love it. Okay, nonetheless, though, folks, we've gotten this far, and I appreciate your patience in letting me get this far. Because from here, let's move on to the last part of this little fiasco tonight. And for that, we will move one more time back to the board. Oh, thank you very much. And from here, once we are all settled here, I just need to take that pot and drain it. Actually, I guess I should at least show folks that. Oh, here's the rest of the corned beef. Move that out of the way. As we do one last little thing tonight. Where are we? Here it is. Looking for my pot holders. Okay, the last part is I do not want to spill this all over myself, but let's drain the pot. There we go. All right. Now we get to move back over here. And now at last, for the other part, the other dish that we are preparing for tonight. Oh yeah, doesn't that look lovely? However, notice though it does shrink, as you can see, with no difficulty at all, as it has boiled for the past, oh, I don't know, probably close to an hour or so. We have our tomatoes. We have our potatoes, our cabbage, onions, and spinach. And into all this, now we get to throw in our usual ingredients for, well, what we would usually use for mashed potatoes, which would be a little bit of salt, not too much because it was salted water. And then there's, oh yeah, that means I better get my spices out, shall we? That would be this, parsley, and basil. Okay. So far we've done salt, throw in a little ground pepper. I make a point of buying rough ground pepper, not ground pepper powder. And yes, I do grind my own pepper too. Then with this, of course, we got to have garlic powder, some basil leaves, dried basil, a bit of parsley, and then two other things. Damn it. I can't believe I did that. All right. Yeah, I should have gotten this out earlier, but of course I missed it. Nonetheless, let us throw in a stick of butter. Yeah, essentially we're preparing this the way we would normally prepare mashed potatoes. There's really no difference between this. And that's just why I really just consider this to be a form of extreme mashed potatoes. Come on. Oh, damn it. Come on. There we go. And finally, to all this, we'll throw in maybe about a cup of milk. Probably enough. If it isn't, we'll add more milk. And now, from here, time to mash. Also, get this down, get this butter in particular down underneath all of that. Yeah, there we go. I hope, no, I don't think there's too much liquid actually. Once we get this all mashed up, it should turn out nicely. It's got a nice green color to it too. How appropriate for St. Patrick's Day. There we go. Yeah, definitely it is absorbing all that milk. So quite frankly, I would not have any problem eating this as is. I mean, after all, it's got potatoes. Oh, there's cabbage in there too, but the cabbage is flavored by everything else, along with the spinach, the onions, and the spices we put in, as well as all that butter. And finally, mix in with all of that. Here comes the last part. Let us toss in the sausages. 2, 3, and 4. Could serve it as is, or if you want to be a geek like me and probably upset some folks because I'm not following proper etiquette, simply mash it all up with the sausages here and mix it all together. Needless to say, it didn't take long to mash those sausages in, that's for sure. It's like they were just absorbed by it, almost like the blob. All right. Or maybe not. Mash it a little bit more. There we go. That means when we do a scoop of this, there will be a little bit of everything here, including the meat. We have the meats, as you just said. Nonetheless, I do believe we have it. Boy, I know this doesn't look appetizing, but as I said, this is really no more than just an extreme mashed potatoes. Because that's what it is. They're potatoes as well as a whole bunch of other things mixed in. And that is my attempt at Irish colcannon. Oh, so there we go. All right. Well, if nothing else, I think we can safely say at least we've had one decent Reuben sandwich. Actually, in this light, I'd like to think it doesn't look too badly, actually. So there we go. Just in time for St. Patrick's Day. And of course, you know, this being a New York sandwich, the Reuben that is actually appropriate for St. Patrick's Day since, of course, corned beef and cabbage actually comes from New York City. I know in Ireland, they actually really don't eat corned beef and cabbage, and they don't even celebrate St. Patrick's Day very much, although they do have colcannon. Colcannon is pretty much the epitome of the type of cooking they have in the British Isles, where, as they say, you know, you just boil the whatever out of it, which is exactly what you do here. But this is definitely filling, and it definitely has a lot of meat in it, and as such, I am not, yeah, as I said, I am not complaining about this at all. But there we go. Okay, and yeah, Beth Button. I personally enjoy making this stuff, and I have eaten it many times as well. So, all right, is there room for the one that didn't get in the pot? Yeah, you're talking about the other Reuben sandwich, I guess. Oh, the sausage that is. Actually, I put all four of them in there, so they are actually in there. So yeah, we're definitely going to be eating well tonight. That's for sure. Okay, loves me my spinach, and well, I'm glad you like that, Art Hughes. But nonetheless, there we are. I'd love to give another look at the Birmingham Stove and Range handwritten pan, but unfortunately, as you can see, there's a lot of grease in the pan, unfortunately, that I'm gonna have to clean up. So I cannot turn it over. Or gee, you know what? If I were to turn it over, oh dear, I might get a little bit of this grease into the potatoes. Oh gee, isn't that a shame? Yeah. It's definitely got to help flavor it too. But yeah, here is the Birmingham Stove and Range handwritten number 7 pan. Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking of it, yeah, I like that. I'm glad I did that. Okay, there it is. I guess that means we just need to mix it up a little bit more. And with that, I do believe we are all set at this point because, well, I'm hoping we accomplish what we set out to do tonight. I had another little mishap, unfortunately, where I dropped a piece of corned beef on the floor, regrettably. But, well, again, that's nobody's fault but my own, as I was rushing around trying to prepare a sandwich. Nonetheless, we still managed to prepare a couple of decent Reubens tonight, as well as a pot of colcannon. And most importantly, I enjoy myself doing this, and I can only hope you folks do. I mean, that's the part that I say every time because I mean that every time. You know, I do these live videos because I find them to be a lot of fun. I mean, it's nice that yeah, that Google actually does pay me for this, YouTube, but I don't make a lot of money from it, and I'm really doing it largely because it's a hobby and largely because of the fun. And it's you folks really who make this fun for me. The conversation and your comments, and just really knowing that everybody is here watching. So I can only thank everybody very much for that. Like Four Morris Family or Rick Stumbow or Val's Black Cat's Rules. Yes, thank you. That's a pot of potatoes, sausage, and gout. Well, actually, so far they have not diagnosed me with gout. They diagnosed me with arthritis, but not gout. Who knows? Give it another year, we'll see what happens. But thank you anyway, nonetheless, Rick Stumbow, and thank you very much for showing up. And likewise for hello to Mr. John 420. Well, yeah, real as they come. I will take that as a compliment. I guess I can certainly say that. I mean, you certainly don't see these things on those professional YouTube videos, that's for sure. I mean, when was the last time you saw Joshua Wiseman dropping his corned beef on the floor, regrettably? So, okay, but again, I can only thank everybody so much for that. And more importantly, everybody else too. I mean, we've all got St. Patrick's Day coming up, and so whether you're making corned beef and cabbage or not, or if you're just relaxing for the day because it's a Sunday, or having fun with family, the most important part is do just that. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your St. Patrick's Day, and have fun. And I like to think that cooking in cast iron helps to contribute to the fun. We will be doing all this all over again, once again, next Wednesday. And at this point, I don't know yet what we're going to be doing, but we'll figure something out. I mean, that's been the case so far for almost every Wednesday for the past three and a half, oh, 3.5 years. So yes, and thank you as well to Cynthia Wesley and Louis J. Cast Iron Cooking. Did we do the spin test? Okay, you've got a point there. The spin test. Let me put that old Birmingham stove and range on this flat surface here, and let's see what happens. And it is not spinning at all. So I would say I can definitely say this pan is in fact flat and not a spinner, which is yet another reason why I very much enjoy cooking with good old lightning here. So thank you all. Yeah, next week chili. Oh yes, that's right. You're right. I completely forgot, even though I mentioned it before. 30-minute chili. Okay, we will make an appointment to do that next week, and thank you very much for the reminder. So yeah, I mean that I am looking forward to doing that as well. And until then, though, well, as I said, everybody keep safe and very much enjoy your enjoy the next week and enjoy your time with your family. And again, have fun cooking. So thank you once again, everybody, folks. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all next Wednesday. Oh.